Hey, good evening, guys, and welcome to the LGBTQ Voice. My name is Tracy Welch.
Eileen Dugas. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, I was going to be not here tonight, but something came up, and I was able to kind of make it. Tonight's show is on substance abuse in and around our community. So we have a special guest from PACA tonight, Donald.
Donald.
How's it going?
Good, very good.
So I know Eileen wanted to start off with a couple questions and what's going on with PACA.
Yep. So Donald is going to share a lot of his story with us tonight, and also his involvement with PACA. So I just want to thank him for being here, because it's not easy to share your story, your challenges, and put yourself out there pretty much as an open book and share what you've been through in your life. So thank you for coming here tonight.
You're welcome.
And thank you to Kyle Alves for the recommendation of having Donald on the show. We really appreciate your support and help. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, tell us, Donald, a little bit about your history with PACA. How did you get involved with PACA?
I started going to AA groups at PACA. There's a very wide variety of groups that I held at PACA, and my sponsor at the time took me on the holidays, which was at noontime meeting, and the place was packed with people, and I made some few connections that day. I started making PACA my home, one of the AA meetings at PACA, my home group, which was 5 days a week, and I attended every day. I had a heart surgery, and they replaced the aorta with a mechanical heart valve. And I was having trouble driving at night, so the 8 o'clock meeting, Monday through Friday at PACA, was perfect for me. And I started attending that meeting. And then I heard about volunteer work with the PACA organization, and I started doing that. And eventually I took on different jobs. I was a driver for people going to treatment or detox. I also was driving people to High Point, which is another agency that treats people for alcohol and drugs. And then I got older and retired.
But you're still there.
You're still
But
there.
I'm still attending meetings there. I'm still there. They know I'm available if they need me for something. And trying to help out just to keep everything going.
And how long have you been there at PACA?
30 years.
30 years. Wow.
You said there were different groups. What did you mean by that?
Well, there are AA-NA groups, but there's also groups to support people in recovery, like a relapse prevention group, parenting group, stress reduction and anger management. All those groups help to support someone's recovery.
Sweet.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about your first experiences with substances. What was your first,
Was alcohol.
Drug of choice?
drug of
Yeah,
choice? Alcohol.
which alcohol is a drug. It's a liquid
Absolutely.
drug. And that was my first,
How old would you say you were when you first started drinking alcohol?
17 in high school.
Yeah.
hmm
And what was the reason for it?
It was events. There was a junior skip day at Hostenick Beach, and it was the first time someone was old enough to buy, and it was all you wanted to drink, and I actually got drunk that first time.
So some of your friends were old enough to buy,
Yeah.
because at that time, the drinking age was
21.
wasn't 18?
No, it was 21, and when I turned 21, it went to 18.
Oh, okay.
So how did your underage friends get booze?
Yeah.
Oh, he was 21.
Oh, all right.
It was
And
New
he's still
Bedford
in high school?
Vocational. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So there were some members there who
Yeah,
were old enough to buy
To
the
buy
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yeah.
gotcha.
And how long were you drinking alcohol before you tried something else?
Actually, about 10 years. I was 27 years old when I started trying marijuana. And with marijuana came pills that were out at the time. And eventually, it led to cocaine.
And how long was cocaine the last drug? Was there?
It was the one that brought me to my bottom deck.
Okay.
helped me to make that decision to stop using, to get into recovery.
Do you remember the experience that led you to that, to say, okay, this is it, and I need help?
One thing that happened was my running partner, because we all had running partners, and he told me, don't you think you're going too far?
I apologize, what's a running partner?
It's someone who does what you're doing, does the alcohol, the drugs,
Gotcha.
the
Thank you.
cocaine, and you work in tandem, getting what you need.
I get, you get, we share.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And then I also had a powerful example in my life. Someone who lived in my neighborhood, we grew up in the same neighborhood, worked in the same plant I did, and 3 years before I reached my bottom and made the decision to ask for help, he had asked for help. And how he did it was he went to work and told the personnel manager, and my experience was the same thing. She called the Edge Hill of Newport, and they were taking me in on a Saturday. I had needed time to get my affairs in order, and so she asked me the question, do you think from now till Saturday, it was a Tuesday, do you think you can abstain from alcohol and drugs? And I said, oh, sure. I have no money. But I know today that that was just the disease lying one more time.
right.
Because I did use the night before I went into Edge Hill. That my not having any money was not an excuse. I was going to find a way to use.
You know, that's interesting to me. You know, you always find a way to use. And I have worked with several individuals on a personal level, family, friends, who have substance abuse addiction issues, and they have been in treatment. And the day before they know they're going, the last thing they want to do is, you know, get that last high. So even though you're saying in that moment, yes, I want help, you still, until you get that help, the disease is still there saying, let's do this one more time. It's your last night, it's your last night, it's your last night. Let's get high one more time. So that's not unique, I guess, to the people that I have seen. That is probably for most people.
Yes, I believe it is.
It's interesting because you say you want help, but the disease is so powerful that if the opportunity is there, or you can find any way to get to that drug, you'll do it. So it's hard. It's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy at all. And getting into recovery and working in a recovery program to stay clean and sober is very hard. It takes a lot of work. It's not an easy pass.
Right.
So have you been a sponsor yourself?
Yes, I'm sponsoring 3 people right now.
And how many people have you sponsored in your life?
Oh, probably about 12 to 15 people.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we talked offline, off air, that you are LGBTQ.
Right,
You want to
yes.
tell us more about?
I'm a gay man.
Yeah, you're a gay man. We met. We used to do AIDS benefits for years.
Yeah.
So that's where I met Donald. AIDS Inc. And we talked about that you are HIV.
Right, I'm HIV positive,
Yeah.
and it's been 31 years I've been HIV positive.
And we were talking offline. So out of the people that you help and or that you see in our community, how many do you feel are LGBTQ that you know?
In
We don't out people, but in general. I outed him. I already asked. I did ask.
God, I have no idea the number.
Yeah.
It's got to be large.
You know, you have a statistic, right?
I do.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you. So, the National Survey on Drug Use in Health, adults defined as sexual minorities, that's lesbian, gay, or bisexual, were more than twice as likely as heterosexual adults to have used an illicit drug in the past year. So basically that's 17.1% of general population opposed to 39.1% of the lesbian, gay, or bisexual population. So that puts individuals at a much higher risk for being addicted. because they're actually taking that step and using, right?
Yeah.
You can't be addicted to something if you haven't ever used it, or you could, or you don't know you are. And I just think that that's an outstanding number of people in the LGBTQ community in relation to the general population, heterosexual community overall. So
I was going to skip to Eileen and I. Eileen and I are two out of the 4 adult advisors for NB Agley. And we try and reduce HIV. I know our show was on substance abuse today, but I mean, a lot of people are using substance abuse, are selling their bodies to get money, to do whatever they need to do. And HIV in New Bedford, we went from number 4 in the state to number 5. We are not very good at it. And for our NB Agley, New Bedford Alliance of Gay and Lesbian Youth out there, we do ages 14 to 24. It's men of color, is our target population, having sex with other men and transgender women. You know, so I tell the story several times that when we see a youth walking, unless there's 2 adults, we don't pick any of our kids up. And I saw a kid on the corner, and I happened to tell another adult advisor, and she said, it's before Eileen's time, she said, oh, that's where they get picked up for sex. And I'm like, I did not know that. I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Not realize, you know, because that's a need that that individual had. So, you know, I mean, again, being part of AIDS for years and talking about HIV, and Linda Spinner was on our show, and we did our AIDS show. Substance abuse is running rampant right now in Massachusetts. I wish we had statistics, Massachusetts versus other states, but I know that you had a couple more statistics you want to...
So last year, I have it somewhere, not last year, I think it's 2016 is the last year of complete data that I have, that I got from Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Let's see. So Massachusetts, 2016 has 1,990 opioid-related deaths. That's confirmed, and there's about...
How do you not confirm a death?
Well, it's confirmed that that was
Gotcha.
unintentional. Let me see.
No, I was just joking. You know me.
I know you, Tracy, but they're questioning up to 2,107.
Wow.
So that was in 2016. I don't have the 2017
Yeah, it's
data
tough
yet.
to get the last year's stats.
Overall, in the United States, you really can't see this, but the trend has steadily increased in the last thing he has here.
So is the trend of people abusing it or deaths?
Unintentional drug overdoses. 38,329 drug overdose deaths in 2010 in the United States.
Now, at PACA, do you guys do Narcan training at all?
No, they don't. I believe Seven Hills does training for
Yes.
Narcan.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but Seven Hills, hi guys, hi Jim, hi Jeff, hi everybody. They've been on the
Right.
show before talking about it, because we were talking about Narcan offline. Go ahead.
So one thing that Kyle had informed me, educated me, and some others on was there's this misconception that people go, are treated with Narcan, right? They receive Narcan, they go to the hospital, they leave, and then they're back again a few hours or an hour later with Narcan again. And sometimes it's because they use again, but there's also times where they have so much drugs, so many drugs, a high level of drugs in the system that the Narcan wears off, and again they overdose without using again. That was something that was really eye-opening to me and other people that were at that training, because there's always, I hear talk, oh, why do they keep reviving them? Why do they keep reviving them? They keep overdosing. Yeah, they might be in the same day, but they also might not be. They might just have that high level in them, and when the Narcan wears off, they need it again.
Yeah.
So
Some of you guys know that I work for Tedeschi Food Shops, and I was at one of my stores in Fall River, and one of my stores used to be right near the methadone clinic on East Main Street. So I'm in the manager's office, and they said, oh, somebody died in the parking lot. He overdosed. So I go, by the time I walked, the person came in to tell me the person was dead, and I'm like, oh my God. So somebody called 911. I go outside the parking lot, and I'm like, there's nobody dead. I go back in, I'm like, there's nobody dead. And I go, no, the dude is dead by the dumpster. And I'm like, okay. I go back out, and there's a guy sitting in the car, and there's a person in a nurse's outfit, and I'm going, well, there's no ambulance, what's going on? So I said, excuse me, I said, I'm the DM, I'm Tracy. I said, what's going on? She said, well, I'm a registered nurse. She says, I carry Narcan with me. Somebody's yelling down the street, we need Narcan, we need Narcan. So I gave him in. I go, that's him sitting up in the car? She goes, it's just like that. If I had time to watch the video, because we have video cams in the parking lot, I would have. I mean, I was just like, what, a minute? I leave the office, I go down the ramp, I don't do stairs. I went down the ramp and I'm like, there's no dead guy. You know, just like that.
There was no dead guy.
I was glad there was no dead guy. It's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
But again, they wanted to drive away. And we said, you know, the police are on the way. She goes, oh, my boyfriend's going to get mad when he's awake. I said, he's already awake. I said, you died in our parking lot. Some nice lady gave you Narcan to wake you up. You need to stay. Your license plate number's written down. If you drive away, you can drive away. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. But I'm telling you what I can and can do. That I will give them your number. They ended up staying, and they took them away in the ambulance for precautionary measures. But it's amazing, you know. I mean, our store down there was, again, right by the methadone clinic. And I see people day in and day out. I can't tell you this. That's the #1 store I had that sold sugar. I went through bags of sugar for coffee. I swear to God, like they had that much sugar in every cup of coffee, you know, because they needed that fixed. I dated somebody for 5 years. Her name, I won't say names, sorry. She was sober 7 before I met her. And she always chewed bubble gum. Physically fit, 0% body fat in the Olympics for field hockey, and always chewed gum because she needed that sugar rush. She just needed that sugar to absorb, and it was funny. And twice in the 5 years that we had gone out, and we had a local gay bar in Hyannis called the Mallory Duck. And just twice when we were out, she always said to me, there might be that one time that as soon as we walk in, no matter, even if it's a dinner place that sells alcohol, that I might have to leave. And just twice in the 5 years we were together that we had to leave. But yeah, Narcan is just amazes me what's out there, you know. And I think for me, from what I've seen out there, I think people are just using it. Oh, I'm not going to die because they're going to Narcan me, and if I die, oh well. You know, what do you feel about that in your line of work?
Well, one thing I want to mention is, you mentioned the sugar thing.
Yeah.
Many alcoholics are heavy users of sugar when they first get sober. And it's related with the mixed drinks of liquor, which are very sweet and high in content of sugar. So it's like a substitute. They put it in their coffee. And even in earlier meetings, at the time when I first got sober, people would bring candy into the meetings to pass around to everyone so that people could get that
sugar high.
Calmness, get that sugar high and calm down and be able to take part in the meeting. As far as the Narcan, thank God there is Narcan, because we're still losing too many people even with the Narcan. Most people I know who are in recovery have Narcan, because you can get it free from Seven Hills. You probably had it on your program before. And they carry it around just in case. And it's sad losing people. Too many people have gone, and very young people. And that is, it's heartbreaking to see the parents have to bury their children. But
Do you want to ask questions? I was going to go on to something else.
Well, I just wanted to show a picture of.
Please.
Yeah, we're talking about Narcan, which is mainly used for opioid overdoses, and the increase in that is partly because of fentanyl being mixed with heroin. And I know I'm going to ask AJ to put up a picture that shows the difference in the amount of heroin that's considered a lethal overdose and the amount of fentanyl, and how fentanyl mixed with heroin can be a huge problem, and is a huge problem for individuals who are using opiates. So AJ, can you put that up so people can take a look at that?
So the fentanyl, is that what I saw on, I know, Facebook? A police officer touched it and ended up had to go in the hospital for it?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And then his partner touched it, and they both ended up going to the hospital.
So it's something you can't touch. So what are they doing with fentanyl? Can you tell me what they do with fentanyl? They just inhale it? Do they smoke it?
They shoot it up. They mix it with heroin.
They shoot it up.
Okay.
It's usually intravenous
Yep, well, I did see on Facebook, I know Facebook, sorry guys, that people were putting it in weed, and then people were
I am,
having some issues,
hmm
you know,
that doesn't surprise me.
you know.
An addict will do whatever he can to get high, and if they're smoking in weed, that's,
Yeah, there's another scary thing that I've heard from individuals who are in recovery now. They've shared with me that when they see that or hear that one of their friends had, you know, overdosed and needed Narcan, they want to know who sold it to them because they have the strongest stuff and the best stuff. That's kind of scary. That was really kind of scary to hear because coming from a place where I don't have an addiction to opioid, I'd be like, why would you go near that person who's selling it? Because it's, you know, it's harming. Obviously, it's too strong of a dose. It's deadly. And they're like, no, that's where people want to go because they're looking for that higher high.
The highest high.
And that was really shocking to me.
it was the same thing with heroin before fentanyl came out. When someone overdosed on heroin, people would want to know where they bought it from.
Right.
Because they wanted to go get some of that, because it must have been a very good high.
Right. It was a good batch, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, I worked for Tedeschi's in 7-Eleven for almost 18 years, and the customers that come in there, day in and day out, you know, and again, we don't have the statistics this time. We're gonna do another repeat show on this in a few months. We appreciate the Donald being here. A couple guests had some stuff going on in their lives. They weren't gonna be able to be on the show tonight. But it amazes me, low income. I've had low income stores and I've had high income stores, and my lower income stores seem to have more of the drug and alcohol. My robberies at my stores were crack fixes. I've had robberies for $8 and the guy's in jail, and he was just happy to get his $8. By the time the cops caught him, he had something on him, and I'm like, and he got his something for $8, We have some of the statistics. The U.S. leads the world in abusing 3 substances: cocaine, tobacco, and cannabis. And now cannabis is legal in Massachusetts, so there's going to be some dispensaries
Yep.
going up there. It also says that 4,700 people under 21 each year. Oh, sorry. I don't know what that says. Oh, underage drinking claims the lives of 4,700 people under 21 each year. Next week's show, we're actually doing teen issues and whatnot, and that's going to be dived into next week's show. We actually have Colt McGrath that you didn't see on American Idol. He will be on our show as a teen, turned female to male, and was on American Idol this past year. So Colt will be on our show next week.
Be a fun show.
So, yeah, and you will be here.
I will. I'll be
Yeah,
here.
yeah. We're gonna tag team again. Okay.
Let's see. So let's talk a little bit about when you were actively using, not in recovery. Were there people who tried to intervene, tried to help you, and was it helpful?
There was no intervention for me before recovery.
Okay.
My father was an active alcoholic, and my mother and him were in such denial of his disease. When I went to my parents to ask my dad to take me to treatment, they were like, "You don't have a problem." They couldn't see the problem because they couldn't see beyond the problem that was already in the house. So there was no intervention. It was through a power of example, which was the gentleman who I grew up with and who once I got into recovery, became my sponsor. And a sponsor is someone to guide a newcomer into recovery and share the things that they learned about recovery and how to live a sober life. And so pretty much that was my introduction to recovery. But prior to that, there was no intervention.
So basically, your first positive role model when you were ready was successful in helping you through that process.
Yes,
That's amazing.
yes.
So
Because they say 1 out of 36
Yeah.
make it that are in treatment. And I was fortunate enough to be that one.
That's amazing.
And I continue to
Knock, knock.
enjoy that. Yes, knock, knock.
So we're talking about the successful part.
Yeah.
I've known people that hold you down and keep you there, so they have a buddy, the runner, as you said earlier. Did you have that in your life?
No, I didn't. I had some amazing, you might say, for people who are using and abusing, but I never had a person who tried to put me down or hold me under their thumb so that I would continue to use and not seek recovery. I was fortunate enough to be around some really good people.
For those of you guys that know, my dad died in 2002, and I think that if he hadn't been a functioning alcoholic as he was, he'd still be alive. And he ended up getting diabetes, and he had cirrhosis of the liver, and his kidneys went, and all that from all those years of drinking. You know, if you guys see me at the bar and people go, "Oh, can I buy you a drink?" and I say, "Yeah, I'll have a water now. I've already had my one beer." They get upset. "No, I want to buy you a drink." I said, "Well, water's a drink." I mean, the last time I got drunk, one of my best friends passed away, and we weren't driving. We were in P-Town for the weekend. That was a long time ago. I learned 25 years ago not to drink and drive. I was lucky enough to get home one time. I have no idea how I made it home, and I said I would never do it again. I got in an argument with somebody, and I just drank and drank and drank, and I got cheated on, and it was awful, but I made that choice, and I was very lucky. Unfortunately, my brother has my dad's tendencies, and he just got his second OUI. I don't talk to my family. It's my choice, but I do care what happens to them in my life. But yeah, I just found out that last month he got his second OUI. So I guess I learned from seeing my dad. I'm going to cry. I know, sorry guys. But
I didn't
it's
bring
out there.
tissues today.
No, tissues are in the other room. But anyway, so I think, again, my dad would still be alive if he didn't have that process.
You know, I struggle with watching my nieces and nephews who have lost their dad to addiction and overdose. And hopefully someday one of them will come on and talk about that. They're almost ready. I know you're watching, Trinity. Hi, Kyle. Kyle's watching.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Kyle.
And it is tough for people to come on the show and talk. You know, we had Eileen, I apologize, Eileen's show tonight, had a lineup of people, but unfortunately, like I said, you know, Doug Lopes, shout out to you, Doug. Somebody passed away at his business, so we had to work the night shift tonight. Things just happened tonight. So we definitely do want to do the show again, and we want people to talk about their stories.
We want to hear the stories, and
Yeah.
you know, I really think it's important, and it would be powerful to hear the younger generation as well, and how they're being impacted not only by addiction, but as a child or sister, a brother, a mother of someone who has lost their life to addiction, an overdose. And it's difficult, it's really difficult to say, you know, these kids say things like, how could they not choose me over the drug, right?
Yeah.
This really, it's a disease, and getting people to understand that is huge. I have never met a person who got up in the morning and said, I want to do the worst I can today. Everybody gets up and says, I want to do the best I can today with what I have.
Or just survive the day.
Yep,
Depending on-
survive the day.
yeah.
And addiction, you know, is not a choice. Recovery is hard, and it's not easy. And watching these kids who have lost their dad, watching their mom struggle with supporting kids who have lost their dad, it's not easy. It's not easy. And the cycle, we'll talk about a little bit later, the cycle that I've seen of use. And I want to ask you the question before I go into that use and what that means for a family, or what that means for an individual, and how they support that habit. We'll talk about that. So a question I had was, how did you support your drug use, your alcohol use? How did you support that habit?
Well, for a long time I was a functioning alcoholic, and I'm a carpenter by trade. I had very good jobs but it came a point in time where I no longer could support my habit with my job, because the habit was so large that I became a seller of the drugs in order to get what I needed to do.
So that's what I'm talking about with the cycle. I see, you know, individuals who are addicted to many different substances, and their cycle is they use, they might have a great job, and they get to a level of need for, their need for more, and they can't sustain that need for more with their job, no matter what type of job they have, because the more money, the more you can buy, the higher the level of need becomes. And so they turn to other things, whether it's selling, whether it's stealing, to sell things to get, you know, the drug, and then they end up in jail, and then they, you know, might be clean while they're in jail for whether it's a week, 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years. They may be clean, but then it's back again. You know, they come out in the same neighborhood with their same friends, and the temptation is always there. Yes.
I know, I've raised my hand now.
Kevin's raising his hand too.
Kevin's
what do
raising
you
his
got, Kevin?
What you got?
What are people saying?
I have a few things here that I was going to get to. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. People are saying, let's see, Stephen, I don't know how to pronounce your name and I don't want to say it wrong, but hi Stephen, has everyone forgotten about La Place? They're trying to bring that place back to life.
Nope, they're there, we're open.
They're there
Yep.
and open, so.
Support it, go.
Yep. I think that's just really a side note, has nothing really to do with what we're talking about tonight. I think
Yep.
it's a place where they know the LGBT community is, and they want to, you know, support
safe
La
place,
Place.
yep.
So, yep, if you want to support La Place, go there. Make recommendations to the people that are there, or things you'd like to see to increase attendance there. And
The
see
place
what-
has a Facebook page.
Yeah, they do. Hi, Trinity. Let's see. Brittany. It would be interesting to see how organizations and outreach programs like this positively impact the statistics of substance use amongst LGBTQ individuals due to increased mental health awareness and support. Yeah, so Brittany, I have, one of the things I have here is, we talked about statistics earlier, and basically how twice as many lesbian, gay, bisexual individuals use illicit drugs. Potential causes of that are stress, increased stress levels, discrimination, family rejection, chronic stress, unsupportive culture, homophobia, bullying, etc., lack of family support. I do see some changes in these things in general, but there still are individual cases of these added stresses that could impact one's use of illicit drugs. So yeah, it would be interesting to see how we can support the LGBTQ community to decrease that statistic.
Well, we can also talk about, we talked about it last week's show, the community needs assessment.
Yep.
You know, go on the website for the South Coast LGBTQ network. We have a community needs assessment.
Yep.
And fill it out. Let us know what your needs really are in the community.
Absolutely.
We don't know everybody's needs. I know mine, Donald knows his, and Eileen knows hers.
Yeah.
But if you want us to really help what your needs are, go on and fill out that survey.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Michelle says, thank you for sharing your experiences. Outreach like this helps, so thank you again for being here. Chris, and you think New Bedford is bad, Fall River, Mass is just as bad. You know, Chris, it is bad. It's bad everywhere.
It's bad everywhere.
It's bad everywhere. It's bad on the Cape, it's bad in Taunton, it's bad in Fall River. It's bad everywhere. I don't think there's any community that has not been impacted.
We're not safe. It's not a safe community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sarah, hi Sarah. Rest in peace, Jamie DaCosta, 30 years young. You know, 30 years old. So I'm not sure, Sarah, if you're saying that this individual lost their life to addiction, but
Sorry for your loss.
sorry. It's heartbreaking. It is. It's heartbreaking. 30 years old. Hi, Melinda. Love you too. She says, it is one of the hardest things I have ever had to watch my kids go through. That's my sister who is parenting children who have lost their dad to addiction. So it is. It's challenging. It's hard to watch. It's unanswered questions for them, questions that I can't answer. So thank you, Melinda, for sharing. If the kids want to post anything, say anything, put it up there, I'll read it. Sarah said yes, the individual she was speaking of, Jamie DaCosta, did lose their life to addiction. So again, Sarah, sorry. It's heartbreaking to see these statistics and to see these deaths in our communities and across the country.
So next week, when we talk about teens, we actually lost 2 of our kids, what, I think 4 years ago now?
Yep.
To suicide.
Yep.
For that. But I was going to tell you another story, because you know I'm old, I have lots of them.
You have stories.
Yeah, I got stories. So I dated somebody, she worked with me. I was a store manager at the time, she was a deli manager, and we got along really well. And we started dating, and a year later, I kind of told my boss, I'm like, listen, one of us needs to transfer. I'm like, why? This is the #1 store we have in the company. I go, because we've been dating for the last year, and we want some separation. Well, I knew she was a drinker. I didn't know she was drinking that much, because now we ended up living together, and you kind of know a little bit more. Well, she got, again, OUI, and she didn't show up for the weekend, and our company hired her back, because she was in jail for the weekend. Several times, because she was one of the best deli managers we had. She was on a probation, and she got caught again driving, and wasn't supposed to be driving. She got caught again, and the judge said, I'm sorry, it's a mandatory 6 months in jail. So after 3 months, she had to go back to the court, and Tedeschi, we weren't dating at that time, we were off and on. At that time, we were off. Tedeschi said, can you go on our behalf and tell them she has a job, if they can let her out now? And I'm like, okay. And sure enough, the judge said, no, she needs to learn. So she was out for 6 months, no drinking when she came out. We started dating again. I'm like, wow, this is a great start. So I thought in myself, you know, she's not been drinking. She's a beautiful person. It's the alcohol. It's not the person. You know, I'm trying to talk myself into something. We went away you've been with us Memorial Day weekend. Hey, she barely drank it all the entire weekend. I mean, in Memorial Day weekend, when we go to P-Town, it's a good weekend. And I'm like, oh, this is terrific. This is great. Well, because she didn't drive, she lived in Fall River, and I lived in New Bedford at this time. I said, well, I'll bring your stuff to the river. I said, just leave it with me, and I'll get to your house. I got there, and she was babysitting a granddaughter, and she was shitted with her granddaughter. Baby white wet diaper, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I dropped her laundry, and that was it. I can't. I mean, at what point do you say enough is enough? You know, she lasted all weekend for me. That's what I'm thinking, you know,
Right.
to make it last, but she couldn't last after I dropped her off.
Right.
She had to go back to drinking, and she was babysitting her granddaughter. And I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. You know, for my health, and again, we talk about the show, how I don't talk to my family, and I wish them well. And I wish her well to this day. You know, I wish everybody I've been with in my life well, or family and friends. But it's tough, you know. So what did your family say when you were going through that? Did they see it? I know you're a functioning alcoholic. Did you hide it?
I basically didn't show up for family functions, and that's what I told my parents. When they asked me what my problem was, I said, well, do I show up when we have a family gathering? And basically it was, they're not going to have enough of what I want to do, what I want to drink or what I want to drug. They're not going to do drugs either. So I wasn't there. I was where I needed to be for what I needed. And so basically that's what went on with that.
So in your family, who did you tell you had a problem? Was there something that you told, or just
I went to my parents and told them. They were the first ones I told.
Now, was that after recovery, or before
That was when I was getting into recovery, yes.
And I know you said your dad was alcoholic as well?
Yes,
So how
he
did
was
you
an
feel about-
admitted alcoholic.
Yeah.
And when I went to them to ask my dad to take me to treatment, they couldn't see I had a problem. Because they were in such denial of my dad's alcoholism that they couldn't see mine.
So you want to talk about the support groups that you have at PACA? You know,
Yes,
you've got a list of
sure.
stuff?
There's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9. It's an AA group.
And where's PACA?
Oh, Packer is at
We all- let us know.
360 Cogswell Street.
Thank
It's
you.
the Community Health Center, actually.
Okay.
And the phone number there is 508-997-9051. For people who are wanting to seek help or want to attend a meeting and not sure when the meeting is, they can call that number and they will be told and given one of these papers that I have right now, so they'll know when to get different meetings. So the 10 to 11 meeting, Monday through Friday. Oh, actually Sunday through,
Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday. It's called a morning message. It's an NA meeting.
It says 8 a.m. is the AA meeting, and 10 a.m. is the NA meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Sunday, 10 a.m., Simply Serene. It's a step group.
NA.
NA. Then the rest of the meetings are all NA. 7 o'clock meeting, just for today, is a NA group. 7 o'clock on Monday, United We Stand, NA. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Step Up 1, 2, 3. There are 12 steps in the program, and this is a 1, 2, 3 step meeting.
It's a starter step?
Yes.
Okay.
Wednesday is Man Up Steps, Traditions, NA. Friday is 7 o'clock, also Addicts United, NA. And then Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Living the Solution, NA.
So how come there's not a lot of AA?
Well, the AA meetings are generally pretty much established in other places.
Yep.
So there isn't really a need at night for an AA meeting at PACA.
Okay. So Eileen knows of a great place for AA.
Yeah.
Where would that be?
On Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock at 484 Pleasant Street, the LGBTQ Community Center. They're sober now. That's an AA meeting. It's a closed group, but
And you don't have to be gay to go.
you do not have to be gay.
You just have to
go.
be AA member in the community.
Yep. You
We
just
started that February-ish?
around there.
Around
February,
there.
March. We
yeah.
started. So they are there every Sunday, 9 a.m. 484 Pleasant Street.
So you're a part of our LGBT community. So if I walk into you, if I walked into any of these groups, I would be welcomed?
Oh, yes, very
That's
much
something I
so.
want our audience to know.
Yeah.
So there's no
Really,
judging?
absolutely.
What about of color? There's no judging? There's
No,
certain things? I mean, I
no,
like to say-
everyone is welcome. If you're an
Yeah.
alcoholic and you're seeking recovery,
Yeah.
you're welcome to any of these meetings. Like you said, like
Yeah.
was said, sometimes a meeting might have a particular setting, like LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
Anyone, we had a Sunday morning meeting at St. Anne's, which is on Brock Avenue. It's no longer in session.
Yeah.
But it was a gay AA meeting. And there was a gentleman, a Portuguese gentleman, who lived nearby and came every week to the meeting and was
Yeah.
very much accepted into the group.
Yeah.
If it's a men's meeting and a woman comes in, she's welcomed into the meeting. Same thing with the men's, the ladies' groups, if a man comes in, because turning someone away could cause them a problem
Yeah.
that might lead to a big problem.
Absolutely. That's
Definitely.
excellent. That's amazing. It's nice to hear that these groups are welcoming, even though they're set up to serve a certain population, that anyone who shows up is going to be welcomed.
I came out in recovery because I felt comfortable enough to be able to do that and know I would be accepted.
Yeah. And that's key. A lot of people are shy, don't know what's going on. Again, years ago, I lived on the Cape. We called it gay AA. It was over by the Cape Cod Hospital. And, I mean, there's like 30-something people all around the table hanging out, you know. Yes, it was called gay AA. And I went for support, but it was amazing, the people that welcome people in. And you don't have to say a word. You can just go to the meeting, and they go around, and I used to just say, hi, I'm here for support. Because you hold hands when you first start the meeting, and,
Yeah.
you know, you say your name. You don't have to say nothing. You can just sit there. And
Yeah.
I just pass you, and you go past, you know, and kind of go around. I feel, you know, if you can get any help anywhere, do it. If you can walk into a place and just say, I'm shy, I don't want to talk tonight, I just want to sit and listen, they'll let you sit and listen.
Absolutely.
You know, I think taking that first step, walking into the door, is huge.
It is.
You know.
It absolutely is.
So I know you said that you're a recovery coach. So out of the 12 people or so that you've helped in your life, how many have stayed sober or clean?
The 3 that I have now are sober. I would say probably 3 have stayed sober out of the 12. Yeah, 3
It's
others.
tough. The statistics, we
have
talked about that
passed.
earlier.
Yeah.
You know, and out of the people that you have, are they LGBTQ that you help more so than
No,
not?
they're all straight
Yeah,
heterosexuals.
not that we think about that, but this is the LGBTQ voice. I just want to kind of, put that in there.
Yeah.
But this is twice as high. I
Yeah.
mean, next week's show, we're going to talk about, teen issues and what's going on in our community. And Eileen and I talked a while back that she started the 8 to 13 group.
Yeah.
Hopefully we start earlier and take care of the issues, the problems, what's going on. We won't need the 14 to 24. And Pride, you want to talk about Pride Cafe? How was your bike ride?
My bike ride was amazing. Thank you everyone who came. It was a great time. So 2 things, 8 to 13-year-olds. I'm hoping to eliminate some of these stressors. That's what we want to do with the South Coast LGBTQ Network, is provide a supportive community for all ages. And I think providing a forum for these kids 8 to 13 when they're just trying to figure out who they are.
And I apologize. We do younger if need be. We have a 7-year-old that had hit us up. So again, we just said 8 to 13 for shits and giggles.
Right.
If a 5-year-old comes with a parent, come on in.
Right.
We will help you.
We absolutely will. That's Wednesdays, 6:30 to 7:30, same place, 484 Pleasant Street. So we're trying to minimize those stresses that we talked about earlier and let people start to develop connections to community and others at a younger age and know there are others like them, to reduce some of those stressors in the LGBTQ
Knowing they're not
community.
alone is a very important thing.
Pride Cafe is on Monday nights, and we
7 to 9.
yeah, it is 7 to 9, same place, 44 Pleasant, and
484 Pleasant.
yeah, 484 Pleasant. And so we're gonna try to do some new things this week, Monday. Yesterday.
That's right.
Long time ago, yesterday. We went on a bike ride at Fort Tabor. It was fun. We saw the sunset. There's some pictures on the web, not the website, on Facebook, Pride Cafe's Facebook page. So take a look at it, see what's gonna be going on in the future. Next week we might do a walk downtown, and maybe go grab a coffee after. So again, that's ages 18 and up.
So Pride Cafe started from South Coast Equality back in the day. Joni started it. Hi, shout out to Joni Stratton. To get people out of the bar scene, to try and help our community out. And we used to be at the UU Church the first and third Monday of the month. But even back then, when I was on it, we were like, oh crap, was it last Monday or was it this Monday we meet? Like, oh wait. So if we forgot, could you imagine what the community thought? So again, we were able to have it at the community center now, and it's every Monday to get people out of the bar scene. Don't get me wrong, I love the place and I'll support the bar. But for us, I mean, our kids, I don't want my kid being 21. The first place they need to go is a bar, whether the place or any bar in particular. But Pride Cafe gets people out of the bar scene. I showed up last month or so, and there's some people playing games and hanging out, and other people having conversations. So it's just, again, a place to be and a place to get out of the bar. So we represent birth to 13. We have our 14 to 24 group, and on Thursdays, that's ages 14 to 24. You can't come in unless you're 14 to 24. Or I meet you at the door going, get out. It's a closed, again, it's a closed group for that age group. And then Pride Cafe on Mondays is the 18 plus group. And then we have our First Fridays, and it's ages 14 to 24. And it's without Eileen and myself and the other adult advisors. The peer leaders run the group, and the kids just kind of hang out without adult support, even though our peer leaders, hi guys in the corner, Mariah and Kevin, they are over 18. But again, it's to get the kids together and have an atmosphere where they know it's safe, or it's a safer place. We can't say every place is safe in this world today, but it is a safer place. We have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no oppression, no sex, no violence, no bullying. As soon as you walk in the door, and that's why our youth named it A Perfect Place. I walk in that door and I am damn perfect. So the kids named that. What else we got?
And I can't talk about self-care enough. Mondays at 5:30 we have yoga.
Yes.
Same place, 484 Pleasant Street. Come down and try it out. So I had never done yoga before in my life. I looked at people doing yoga and said, ow, ouch, no, not gonna try it. I've been there every week, and anyone can do it. There's different levels. It's very welcoming. The instructor is amazing. Hi, Sandra. And she really supports us in doing our best and what's best for us and what's best for our body and mind. So come down, join us Mondays at 5:30, and then you can stay for Pride Cafe and join us whatever we're going to do then. Time check, Tracy.
I was just looking at Oh, you're dead?
Dead.
It's 7:51. I was just going to hit up real quick. Hit up Jeff Costa on Facebook as well. New Bedford Wellness actually does a free yoga in the park. There's a lot of free yoga out there. There's so many things that, you know what, if you need to get away, you need to get a high, you need to get a rush, exercise. I'm not
Free
there yet.
meditation, too.
Free meditation. There's so many things out there. So hit up New Bedford
Friday
Wellness
night.
on Facebook. No, it might be New Bedford Well, but it's New Bedford Wellness. They have their Saturday walk around the park. You know, in the wintertime, it's in the mall. There's free stuff to do out there to get your, I don't know, ass out of the chair. You guys know I'm fat and happy. I say that every week. I'm heart healthy, and you know, because of what I'm not saying that my heart because I'm overweight. I'm mentally healthy in my head, so that's what I mean by heart healthy. Jeff Costa will help me any day that I want to lose weight. He goes, Tracy, I'll help you any day. And I said, today's not the day, tomorrow's not looking any better. But I know I have that helping for me when I need it. And I have an addiction. I love my junk food. So there's an addiction where I think we deal with stress in different ways. But you know, we're here for the show. We're here for the community, the South Coast LGBTQ Network. Again, this is our 4th year that we've been involved in our community. And, you know, we love doing this show. I love, you know, having different guests, talking about different subjects. Did you want to end with talking about anything with you in your life?
Well, I can say that my recovery has grown, and with that, my life has changed considerably. I'm 67 years old. I'm actively engaged with my family. I have a sister in Fairhaven, Hygiene, and who has a beautiful home, and with this humid and hot weather, I've been living in her pool with her 2 grandchildren, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and having a really good time.
Sweet.
But because of recovery, I've also been able to experience some very special things. I visited the AIDS quilt the 4 times that has been displayed in Washington, D.C.,
We had a piece
along
of
with
that
friends.
at one of our AIDS benefits, if you remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, AIDS Medicine and Miracles in upstate New York. It was held there about 10 years ago. And meditation, any kind of dancing on Saturday night, just a very calm and very serene, but a very lively also weekend. Was introduced to meditation and yoga there, really. And that's a big part of recovery. They stress meditation. And I'm doing that with Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, you do Costa too?
I do
2
Friday
shout-outs.
nights
When do you do it?
on meditation. It's across from Carter's, the
Yeah.
little park that used to be a parking lot.
Yeah.
And we sit on a hill, and from 4 to 4:30, we meditate.
And which
And
day?
then Friday
Is
nights.
that the men's only?
No,
Okay,
no,
just wanna make sure.
it's
He has a
anyone's
men's only,
invited.
so-
Anyone who
Yep.
cares to take part in it is invited. And we've had a steady maybe 15 to 20 people
Sweet.
that are going every week. And I get there and I immediately feel calmer
Oh, that's
because
terrific.
I know what we're going to do in a few minutes, and
Yeah.
it's great. Jeff does a great job in leading
We've
it.
invited Jeff to our Pride the last 2 years, and we'll have yoga in the park for the rest of my life. We'll start our Pride with yoga. It's a different, I don't know, a different feeling, a different zen, a different breath, and then the wellness walk around the park, and then our Pride event, and then hopefully this year, we're gonna do the farmer's market coming up. We just have so many different changes and things for our community that we see. I wanna read some substance abuse phone numbers and stuff, but did you wanna?
Yeah, so I just want to put out there that Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, SAMHSA, has a 24-hour hotline where you can call, get support, get help every day, at any time. And that number is 1-800-662-HELP or 1-800-662-4357. Again, that's 24 hours a day. 365 days a year. So if you need help and it's a time where you can't reach someone at a local business, call that number and get support. If you're looking for resources and you don't know where to start, call PACA. They will point you in the right direction, 508-997-9051. Tracy, what do you have?
Thank you. So we joke in my wallet that I keep this thing called street sheets. So my 2017 one was very small and I could fold it up. But my 2018 one, I can fit it and it actually fits in my wallet. So a street sheet tells you about substance abuse, open food pantries for people that might need food, medical, mental health, veterans assistant, and it's from the City of New Bedford Homeless Services Providers Network, www.nbhspn.com. And I believe that Human Relations Commission downtown had one, because I was talking to Marcy Pina Christian, because an individual came into our youth center needing help. So I just want to kind of give you guys some phone numbers. Substance abuse, it says AdCare, 508-999-1102. High Point Treatment Center for Women, 774-628-1000. There's a Community Substance Abuse Center, and it says 8 Kilburn Street, 508-979-1122. Packer, we already said. There's self-help treatment info for men. It's called SEMCOA, 508-992-7788. Seven Hills Recovery and Wellness Center, 508-999-3126. Stepping Stone, 508-674-2788. And don't ask me why this is on the next page. Crisis Services, Al-Anon and Alateen, 508-366-0556. Again, you guys can pick this up. It's so good to have. I can't tell you how many times I pulled it out. There's homeless people that don't know where to eat for free, and I'm like, wait. I pull my wallet out, I grab a scrap piece of paper, and I write down, places to eat. There's meal sites and times, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So there's so many things on the street sheet that you can get. Again, I fold mine up, it fits right in my, yes, I carry a men's wallet, it fits right in my wallet. So anytime I'm out and about, if you need help or assistance, I've got it in my wallet. 1-800-DIAL-A-FRIEND. Just call me up or send me an email, and you can get me at Tracy, Traci, at sclgbtqnetwork.org, or Eileen at
EILEEN at sclgbtqnetwork.org.
So I know we got we're probably a little bit over, but that's okay. For us to continue the show, we don't pay AJ behind the scenes, but we do pay our peer leaders to help us out, and they help with research and whatnot. We need ad money. We need money to keep the show going, because at one point they may say, hey, you know what, we're not making ends meet. On our Facebook page now, there's actually a link. We are a 501c3 status, so if you want to donate. Yep. However, we'd rather have you hit up Leo at thebedfordguide.com. That way there, the show's getting paid, and we're getting 50% of those proceeds, because they're doing all the work behind the, well, I don't want to say they're doing all the work behind the scenes, because we're doing all the work behind the scenes. AJ's doing a lot of work, and Josh was setting up as well. We want to keep this show going. Mm-hmm. We don't want the network to pull funds out to keep the show going. It is a great resource, but could our money be spent elsewhere for the community? Again, I don't get paid for this, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, but we really need your help. If you want to support the show, you just say, you know what, I want to give you guys $10, email Leo at thebedfordguide.com and get it to him. We really want to keep this show going. So we appreciate you guys coming. Anything else?
Yes, two quick things. AJ is going to put up a picture for
oh yeah,
Drag Bingo Friday night, Queens of South Coast. Jayla Rose and Crystal Diamonds will be there, and someone else, I'm not sure, but when AJ puts it up, you'll get to see who will be there. It's in Fairhaven, so AJ?
Yes, from what is it, 6:30? I can't read it. Probably doors open at 6:30. Bingo starts at 7:30. It's in Fairhaven.
Yep.
We
VFW.
also want to, go ahead.
VFW.
VFW. We want to talk about Incognito this Sunday. Is a drag brunch?
Yep.
Okay.
But AJ, can you put up that picture? What's the other one? All right, so that's again Friday night, and then Sunday is drag brunch at Incognito
on the Ave in New Bedford. It's a great brunch. It's a $20 brunch.
Yep.
Drinks are extra, but an amazing spread of food and an amazing drag show if you've never been. It's amazing, amazing.
Yes. And the last thing I have is, last time I was here with Jeannie Robinson, we talked about her wanting to do stand-up comedy and it being a dream of hers, and she actually did do it on Sunday. She did a fantastic job. Unfortunately, I cannot show it to you it is not PG-13. So it will be on YouTube, and when it is, I'll let everyone know. But AJ, can you put a picture up of Jeannie at comedy?
Yeah.
So congratulations, Jeannie, on that, and I'm sure she'll be doing many more shows.
Yep, so this Sunday as well, from 12 to 5 at Hazelwood Park, there's actually a Unity barbecue, and it's being put on by the Greater Southeastern Massachusetts Labor. I'm sorry, I can't read it, my assistant's handwriting, I don't know if we ripped the page off.
I'm not the assistant.
No, but it's from 12 to 5. So again, it's a Unity barbecue. Just show up, hang out with some folks down there at Hazelwood Park. And each week as we're doing stuff, we're going to kind of let you guys know what's going on in the community. But that's all we have for this week.
Yes, thank you again for
Thanks.
sharing your story with us.
Thank you for asking me.
Thank you, and yeah, I'm sure we'll see you
Yeah,
again.
and Eileen and I will see you guys next week. Take care.